I know seeing a title that says make $100 a day instantly makes you want to click on this video, and there's a reason, of course. Who wouldn't want to make $100 a day selling a digital product? I know I do, and I'm sure everybody watching does too. Now, before diving into the ideas, there's a couple things that you need to know and that you need to do to be able to make things like this happen. You cannot be an entrepreneur or self-employed if you do not have self-discipline, drive, and ambition. The thing is, these digital products can make you $100 a day, but they won't make you $100 a day if you don't actually do the work. The other videos that I'm gonna be putting out are the videos that it's actually going to set you up and build the foundation to where you can make this type of money. These digital products can make it, but the question really is how and what work, excuse me, Watson, and what work you need to put in to be able to make these make you $100 a day. So stick around for all that, but let's just get into the goods and talk about these 5 digital products. So the very first one I want to mention, and I feel like this one is taking social media by storm right now, and that is guides. So a guide is essentially like a PDF or ebook, but just, you know, a condensed version. So instead of a full ebook that you would think of like an actual book you would sit and read, it's more of like, you know, 20 to 60 or so pages of information and training and images and resources. And usually it's educational, but even if you're a lifestyle type of niche where you're really just sharing your life, maybe it's motherhood, maybe you travel, you can still create resources for people that would be helpful. For example, if you are a mom, I mean, think of the million things that you had to research and learn to, you know, put those things into practice in your motherhood journey. And so you could create things like that, things that you've learned, and just sell them to other moms who are going through that mom struggle like I know so well. Same with like a travel enthusiast. If you just create like travel content and you're trying to figure out something that you could sell, even though you're not considering yourself like a business or an educational niche, you could still sell things. You could sell travel guides, literally. It's a guide. Every time you travel to a new country or state, you could create a new guide for that location. If you're gonna go somewhere like California, visit these places, you know? So just things like that. There is literally digital products that you could create in any niche. And so I don't want people to be scared from these type of digital products that a lot of times you see in educational type niches, because you don't have to be an educational niche to be able to sell digital products or guides or anything. And if you're having trouble thinking up an idea, I do have a free digital product called 60 Digital Product Ideas. Pretty simple. It includes 60 digital product ideas from beginner to advanced. So if you want to download that completely for free, it is in the description. Okay, so next up, and I know you're going to want to click away, but do not please, is online courses. I know we talk about courses all the time, and by we I mean people that are talking about digital products here on the interweb. It's because they are such a popular way to make money. I feel like people get caught up in the idea that a course has to be some huge thing worth thousands and thousands of dollars, and that you do a giant launch, take it off the market, and you have to do that like 2 times a year. No, that method does work. Like if you want to create urgency and you want to sell something for a couple grand, but they only have 30 days to make the purchase, and in the first 2 weeks they get this like bonus items and all, you can do that. That's fine, no shame. However, for me, I like creating resources that people can buy anytime. I'd rather price it lower, like, you know, at max, like a couple $100, maybe like $300. And that way it's a lot more affordable for people. They still get a lot of value. And it also, by having it out all the time, you're not scrambling every couple months for a launch. You could still do launches. For example, one of the freelancing clients I have is Katie Steckley, and I work with her. And we just kind of relaunched a course that she launched a year ago. And by relaunching, we did a few updated videos to make sure it was current and timely. And we did more of like a soft launch, like, hey, we made these updates, here's a discount, like, you know, so on and so forth. And honestly, we sold just as many in this little soft, just kind of like reminder that we have a course with updates than we did the first go around. And she keeps her course up year round. And, you know, it's more priced in that like $300 range. range. And I think it just is less scary for people. And then you can still do those little launches to remind people and still create urgency by having a discount code that expires or something like that. So there's still ways to create urgency without, taking it off the market completely. And I do recommend, instead of doing some big crazy course that you're trying to sell for like $1,000 to $3,000, which is just so like impossible for most people, especially people starting out and trying to learn something. Started out at like a $200 to $300 more mini course, still put like tons of effort into it because that really does matter. You want people to purchase this and be like, oh my gosh, they could have sold this for thousands of dollars. I mean, that's kind of the tactic I used with my digital product growth plan, which I just recently launched. It literally is almost like a course. It has, how many? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. I can't remember. It is like 6 videos. I think it's like almost an hour worth of content or so. And then it includes a 21-page PDF that goes with it. So the PDF is kind of the guide, the educational side of it. And then the videos just go into more detail and do tutorials and, show the back end of some of the things I'm talking about. And, I could have probably called that a course, a mini course or something. But, I think of it more of a workshop and guide. So that's what I'm calling it. And I priced it at $67 because I want it to be affordable, and when somebody purchases it, I want them to feel like they got more value than they spent. So I want them to feel like, wow, if she gave this to me for $67, then I definitely trust her going forward. If she does have something, more expensive down the road, I know it's gonna be like really high value. So it's kind of building that trust with your community. If they buy something from you, you wanna make sure to like put as much value behind it as possible. I feel like I went on a weird little side tangent there about that. So now moving on to templates and printables. A template obviously is something that you created and you're selling to make life easier for somebody else. So a template could really be absolutely anything. It could be like a menu template for a restaurant, and they buy this and they can, change it up in Canva and reprint it if they change their menu every month. It could be a template in something like Notion or Asana or Trello, project management systems like that. You could even create templates in a Google document or Google Sheet and sell those, but templates are definitely a good seller. And I even have like a little Business Hub Notion template. I use Notion. I don't really push that product very often, but it was pretty much me duplicating my system and then making it more generic so somebody could personalize it for themselves. And I can't even remember. I think I'm selling it for like 14 bucks or something like that. So very low ticket price item, and it's something that I was already using, and so it didn't take much for me to create the digital product as a template and then just, put it available on my StanStore. So if you're interested in Notion, you're welcome to check that out, but it's just something that I put on my shop because it was easy for me to do. And if somebody clicks on my StanStore and had interest in Notion but was too scared to create all these databases for themselves, they might see that and be like, oh wow, that would be super helpful. And I could even add that like as an order bump or something to some of my other products. I am actually in process of developing a freelancing guide, and that actually might be available by the time you're watching this. So if it is, I will put it on the screen, put it in the description, but I'm in the process of developing that. And when somebody clicks to buy it, I could have a little option that's like, ooh, and if you want to try out Notion, check out my, Business Hub for $14, and they could purchase that too as like a little order bump. Maybe I give them a little discount if they do that or something. The point is, templates are something that's pretty easy to create, especially if it's based on a system and a process that you're already using. And then it's fairly easy to list it for sale. And as far as how much you can charge, I mean, I could probably charge more for my entire database that I'm selling, but again, it's not really something I'm trying to push. I just figured I'd put it up there. So I don't mind giving it to people for 14 bucks or something like that. But if I really wanted to, and based on like research, I could have probably sold that more in the like, I don't know, $30 to $40 range if I really wanted to. And I also believe if you're going to create templates and sell them, if you want a higher price tag, you just need to bundle things together. So in my digital product growth plan, I have digital product mock-ups that I sell that are created in Canva, so people can just like drop screenshots of their digital products in those mock-ups and use them as their listing images. And I, instead of just having like one included, I have 50 included. And I feel like that makes that whole growth plan more valuable because I can say there are 50 digital product mock-ups included, and that number sounds so much better. So if I was going to sell that on its own, which I totally could, you know, I would be able to price that a little bit higher, maybe like, you know, $14 to $17 or something like that, because it includes so many mock-ups, versus if you just had like 5 mock-ups, you wouldn't want to sell them that even for $5, because that's like $1 a mock-up. It sounds a little high. So if you're gonna do templates, just create a lot of them, bundle them up, and sell them for a good price, and you'll be all set. As far as printables, this could literally be anything, as far as like a checklist or a planner or an art printable. So printables are really popular, especially on Etsy. However, I think if you relate the printable to your niche and sell it on Instagram, you'll be great. I have a friend, Mimi, which I'm actually gonna be talking about in an upcoming video, because girl just quit her corporate job, so woohoo, Mimi. But she really talks about her life on Instagram. She's a mom. She talks about recipes and meal planning and things like that. And she is developing a product around kind of meal planning, and it sounds really cool. I'm not gonna like spill the tea on her idea on my video, but you know, I'll have her stuff linked below too, so once she develops that, you can check it out. But she is developing something, and I think she can get away with selling that for a pretty decent price tag based on what she's planning on including. So no matter what your niche is, just like the other things, you can find something to create and sell to your community. Next up is stock photos and graphics. So you could create graphics using Canva and actually sell these completed graphics. You could do it like service-based. It's still digital product, but somebody could hire you to create something for them. It could be like a logo, social media, graphics, anything like that, a banner maybe for YouTube or their website. So graphics just in general, you could create and sell, and you could also do that for the templates as well and let other people personalize them. And with stock photos, I mean, it's endless what you could take pictures of. You could do like cute aesthetic desk setups, or you know, somebody on a computer or a phone, or just really cool outside like landscaping shots. But the thing is, people use those in business all the time for their websites, for their social media, for their, you know, videos and real content. So definitely have an opportunity to sell these to, I would say, like content creators or influencers or small business owners. You could even create like specific ones for their brand. So if you contact them and say, hey, here's my portfolio, I take stock photos. If you would like, I could take pictures of your products. I could take pictures of, you know, X, Y, and Z, and you could use those in your blog posts. Like, give me a list of things you need and I'll let you know if I can take those, and here's my price tag for that. You could even just do this locally instead of pitching online. You could just walk into stores, have a really nice book portfolio, and say, I can take pictures of your store for your social media. I can take pictures of your products. I can take pictures of these things that, you know, fit with your store, and you could use those in your website, etc. So don't be afraid, even though I know it's super awkward. I'm an introvert, but you know, just going door to door to these businesses and asking if they need any help in the niche that you're in. And that goes for absolutely any type of services that you might want to offer to people. If you're doing freelancing, for example, like I am, you could be going business to business and letting them know about what you offer. So just keep that in mind. Door to door is not dead. Next up is membership sites. I feel this shift into content creators starting to do memberships versus courses. I think a course is really great. It's something you can buy once and, you know, take your time through it. As far as the creator and the business owner side, they don't have to worry about anything. It's kind of a passive, you buy it, I'm out type thing, just like customer service, obviously. So that's a nice thing about a course. But with a membership, yes, it is timely. It's something that you have to focus on every single month. You maybe could batch ahead, but it's something that you have to put energy into each day, each month. However, it is kind of nice versus spending a year developing this course. You're really just like launching a video or podcast or just like free resources or whatever every single month versus having to create them in bulk and then sell them all as one big thing. You could be selling your membership for $35 a month and post one video, and depending on how many members that you have, you could be making a couple $1,000s for pretty much creating one video, you know, each month. It's just something to think about with memberships. It's definitely something you probably don't want to do until you start really getting some traction on your brand and start building up your community, because the only way you can make money through memberships is, of course, to have a community that wants to, you know, invest into that membership. one of the reasons I love StanStore so much, and you know, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I just like really like the platform. I'm almost obsessed, I think. But I just love that you can really create any of these type things within StanStore. So they do memberships, they do courses. My digital product growth plan, I originally was hosting in Notion, and I felt like that was really hard for people that didn't know how to navigate Notion. And now because of StanStore, I've put it up for sale as like a course. So the videos are laid out like a course layout, and then the PDF can be downloaded in there. It's just so much more user-friendly. And I never even thought about, oh, I can do that, because I had just signed up for StanStore a month or so before that. And it really blew my mind because I didn't even think about that before. I was just like, oh wow, I have access to a course platform through StanStore. It's like all in one. And normally you would have to go to another company and spend, goodness, I don't know, $50 to $100 a month to be able to get a separate course platform, which is why I did Notion to begin with. And now I feel like, oh, it was just so easy to like create a course already in a platform that I'm paying for. So that's really cool. But then also, like I said, they do memberships as well. I haven't tried that out. Something maybe I think I might try to do in the future once I build my community a little bit more. You can let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. It would just be like resources and content that no one else has access to, and who knows what else. Maybe I'll create some special merch just for like those people in that like special membership. I don't know. That's something in the future I feel like I'm working towards, but they do offer that in there. You can sell digital products. They do email marketing now too. I am actually in the process of trying to switch over from Flowdesk to them, and I haven't fully done that yet, but I was paying for both, and it's silly to pay for two different things that offer email marketing. So I'm slowly integrating almost everything into just this one platform, and it's saving me lots of money. So look into StanStore. They have like a base package and a higher package. I'm currently paying for the higher package, which is like $99 a month, which is a lot, but it's not a lot to me when I was paying for e-commerce on Squarespace. I was able to bring that down. Flowdesk, I was paying, I don't even know, 50 or so a month, maybe 60. So I was able to drop that down. So really I am personally paying less than I was before by using StanStore. Anyway, gosh, I just keep going on these side tangents. I'm really sorry. Next up is webinars and workshops. And I pretty much talked about this with my digital product growth plan, that I kind of think of it more of like a workshop and guide mixed together. But I actually purchased something from a content creator, and I didn't really know what it was gonna be like in the back end, but I figured it was like a video of some sort. It was $47, and it was straight up like a repurposed replay of a live that she had done with a group of people about a topic. I think it was like, you know, Instagram growth or sales or something. And I can't remember, I think it was 2 hours long. I think the first hour was like the kind of slideshow educational side of it. And then the last hour was like a Q&A. And it was low quality, like just like webcam quality live. It was like a Canva slide presentation for that first hour, going through like, you know, her educational side of things, and literally worth every dime. Like it was such an easy thing to do for the creator who made it, and yet she was able to sell it for $47, and the value I got from it was just so good. And even just like the inspiration side of it that I was able to get too. It's just sometimes, you know, if you buy like a $47 workshop, you get through that 2 hours and you're just like, you feel good and motivated. So like that itself was worth the $47. She sold a 2 hour long video that technically was a live that she just was selling a replay of, and she sold it for $47. So I'm sure when it was a live, she probably sold it for more, and then the replay was $47. And I just think that's amazing. It really just shows you how important value is over quality. Like a lot of people, I feel like, get stuck in that and want to like say, oh, I can't do this because all I have is a phone. No, you can, because honestly, as long as you give real, true value and then upgrade equipment over time, people are gonna stick around, and people are gonna want to join your community because of the value that you're bringing them. Okay, so the last one, number 5, is podcast or audio in general. So people don't really think about selling a podcast. It's something that is just up there for free, just like YouTube videos. And you know, you can build your audience and then, you know, do sponsorships and things like that. However, you can sell podcasts as well, almost like a membership or subscription service. I think it's Spotify now that has a partnership with Patreon, where literally from their Spotify page, if there is like a paid podcast, somebody could buy it right there. So you can sell podcasts as a way of like selling a digital product. If somebody is like obsessed with your podcast, you've really built that community up, then you have like a bonus one they can purchase each week or a bonus one they can purchase each month, and you have like a set price for those podcasts. That's a way to make income. Or you can kind of mix this with the membership option if you're already using something like StanStore, and just set it up as a membership, but pretty much the person's getting like a podcast every week, and then you have a monthly price for that, and whatever that might be, however much value you feel like your podcast brings. It could be like a $50 per month fee and you get 4 podcasts or something like that, and you build up that audience that's paying for those. That could make you quite a bit of money. So that is something you could do. Or audio in general. It could be meditation, an audio book, anything that you can record as an audio, you could sell it. So it just really depends on your audience, your community, and what they find valuable. If your community is mostly people who are listening to podcasts, maybe you built your audience around a podcast, then selling audio type digital products might actually be best for you. Now, I know I mentioned a lot of resources, even my own products or freebies in this video. I'll have everything linked below. So if you're curious, you can go check those things out. And if you liked this video, I think you're gonna like this one, so check it out. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, besties.